Imagine a time before Amazon, before FedEx, even before the Postal Service. The Silk Road was the original global delivery system. This legendary network of trade routes sprawling across land and sea connected the East and the West in a vibrant exchange of goods, ideas, and cultures. The Silk Road wasn't just one road, but a complex web of paths and passages that spanned thousands of miles, from the rich lands of China to the bustling markets of the Mediterranean. It was a lifeline for empires, a catalyst for cultural evolution, and an economic powerhouse that shaped the ancient world. This wasn't just about silk, spices, and precious metals. The Silk Road was a conduit for the exchange of ideas and philosophies, religions, and cultures. It was the internet of its time, a global network that brought people and places closer, fostering understanding and cooperation, conflict, and competition. The Silk Road story is a tapestry woven with the threads of adventure, innovation, ambition, and resilience. It's a tale filled with merchants and monks, emperors and explorers, all contributing to this dynamic chapter in human history. We're about to delve into the origins of this ancient superhighway, its rise and fall, the challenges it faced, and the legacy it left behind. We'll meet the figures who played pivotal roles and explore the enduring influence of the Silk Road on our world today. Now prepare to travel back in time to explore the origins of this ancient superhighway. The foundations of the Silk Road were laid in ancient China, where the desire for trade, cultural exchange, and the spread of ideas sparked its creation. A nexus of communication and commerce, the Silk Road facilitated the exchange of goods and knowledge across vast distances. But how did this all begin? In the heart of ancient China, the Han dynasty saw the potential of trade beyond their borders. They sought to establish a network that would allow them to exchange their coveted silk, jade, and other goods with the world. The Silk Road was not born out of a single decision, but rather as a product of the Han dynasty's strategic expansion and desire for economic prosperity. Key figures played pivotal roles in its inception. Zhang Qian, a diplomat of the Han Empire, is often credited as one of the Silk Road's founding fathers. Sent on a diplomatic mission to the western regions, he returned with tales of exotic lands and potential allies, igniting a spark that would kindle the birth of the Silk Road. The Silk Road was not just a pathway for goods, but also a highway for cultural and intellectual exchange. The Han dynasty sought not only to trade their goods, but also to spread their influence, ideas, and cultural practices. They were curious about the world beyond their borders, and saw the Silk Road as a way of reaching out, of learning, of growing. The Parthian Empire, situated in modern-day Iran, was an important early player in the Silk Road's development. Acting as the middleman between the Han and Roman empires, the Parthians played a crucial role in facilitating trade, helping to establish the Silk Road as a vital artery of commerce and culture. As the Silk Road grew, so too did its influence. From the east to the west, empires, kingdoms, and tribes began to recognize its importance. The Silk Road was more than just a road, it was a network of trade routes that spanned the known world. Its creation marked the beginning of a new era of global interconnectedness, one that would shape the course of human history. The Silk Road was no ordinary road, it stretched from East Asia all the way to the Mediterranean. This vast network spanning thousands of miles was not just one, but many interconnected routes, each with its own story to tell. Starting in China, the Silk Road meandered through the daunting terrains of the Gobi Desert and the Tibetan Plateau, before reaching the fertile oasis cities of Central Asia. Here, cities like Samarkand and Bukhara thrived as vital trade hubs, where merchants would gather to exchange goods and stories from distant lands. From Central Asia, the route branched out in several directions. One led to the south, towards the Indian subcontinent. Another headed west, crossing through the harsh deserts of Persia, now known as Iran, and the rugged mountain ranges of Anatolia in modern-day Turkey. One could also venture north, to the chilly steppes of Russia and the nomadic tribes there. The journey was fraught with danger, but the potential rewards were irresistible. A chance to trade in the bustling markets of Constantinople, or perhaps even further west to the wealthy cities of Venice and Genoa. But the Silk Road was not confined to land. Maritime routes were equally important, connecting the port cities of China and Southeast Asia to the Persian Gulf and the Red Sea. These sea routes acted as a bridge, linking the eastern and western halves of the Silk Road, and enabling the flow of goods and ideas across the vast Indian Ocean. Imagine the variety of languages you might hear, the diversity of people you might meet, and the array of goods you might see on a journey along this road. From Chinese silk and tea to Indian spices, Arabian incense, Persian carpets, and even the precious Roman glassware, the Silk Road was a vibrant artery of trade and cultural exchange. So let's continue our journey. We've seen the vast reach of the Silk Road, but what was it that made it so influential? What were the goods and ideas that traveled along this road? Join us in the next scene as we delve into the treasures of the Silk Road. From silk to spices, the Silk Road was a vibrant artery of trade and cultural exchange. The Silk Road was the world's first global marketplace. But it wasn't just goods that were exchanged. The Silk Road was a bustling bazaar of tangible items, but it also served as a conduit for the intangible ideas, religions, and philosophies. The goods themselves were diverse, ranging from the luxurious to the practical. Silk, as the name suggests, was a major commodity, highly sought after for its beauty and rarity. Spices, too, were a staple of the Silk Road trade, with exotic flavors from the East tantalizing the taste buds of the West. But it wasn't just silk and spices. Precious metals like gold and silver were traded, along with other luxury goods such as jade, ivory, and precious stones. Practical items also found their way across the Silk Road, including paper and gunpowder from China, woolen goods from Europe, and the famed Persian carpets from the Middle East. Yet, the Silk Road was more than just a commercial pathway. It was also a highway of ideas and cultures, where the East met the West, and a melting pot of civilizations was born. Alongside the goods, traders and travelers carried their beliefs, philosophies, and cultural practices, sparking a cross-pollination of ideas and innovations. Buddhism, Islam, Christianity, and other religions traveled along the Silk Road, finding new followers and adapting to different cultures. Artistic styles merged, and musical instruments were exchanged, leading to new forms of cultural expression. Scientific and medical knowledge was shared, leading to advances in fields like astronomy, mathematics, and medicine. Consider the story of the game of chess, believed to have originated in India. It traveled along the Silk Road, getting adapted in Persia before reaching the courts of Europe, where it evolved into the game we know today. Or take the case of the numeral system we use today, which originated in India, was adopted by the Arabs, and then made its way to Europe via the Silk Road, revolutionizing mathematics and commerce. The Silk Road was not just a road for goods, but a highway for ideas and cultures. It was a conduit for human creativity and ingenuity, for the sharing and blending of diverse ways of life, and for the global exchange of knowledge and innovation. The Silk Road was shaped by many hands, from explorers to empires. This intricate network of trade routes was influenced by a multitude of figures and empires, each leaving a lasting impact. Among these significant figures, Zhang Qian stands out. As an explorer and diplomat during China's Han Dynasty, he established the initial routes of the Silk Road connecting the East and West. He brought back stories of the outside world, stirring curiosity and paving the way for future explorers. Speaking of explorers, who could forget the legendary Marco Polo? His vivid accounts of his journey along the Silk Road during the 13th century captivated the Western world. His tales sparked an increased interest in the East, strengthening the trade and cultural exchange between the two worlds. On the empire front, the Mongol Empire played a pivotal role in the Silk Road's development. Under the rule of Genghis Khan and his successors, the Silk Road experienced a golden age. Their domination facilitated the safe passage of goods and ideas, fostering a vibrant era of cultural and economic exchange. Other empires also left their mark. The Roman Empire's demand for silk and other Eastern goods spurred trade, while the Byzantine Empire acted as a bridge between the East and West, aiding in the exchange of goods, ideas, and culture. Each player left their mark on the Silk Road, shaping it into the legendary trade route we know today. But the Silk Road was not without its perils and pitfalls. As the Silk Road wove its way across continents, traders and travelers confronted numerous challenges. The harsh and varied terrains, from searing deserts to icy mountain passes, demanded resilience and determination. Weather conditions could be unpredictable and brutal, making the journey treacherous at times. Yet the physical hardships were just one aspect of the struggle. Political instability and the threat of bandit attacks also loomed large. As empires rose and fell, so too did the safety and security of the Silk Road fluctuate. Traders often found themselves at the mercy of changing political landscapes and the whims of powerful rulers. The decline of the Silk Road was not a sudden event, but rather a gradual process influenced by numerous factors. The rise of sea routes offering safer and more reliable means of transport began to outshine the overland journey. The fall of the Mongol Empire, which had ensured relative peace and stability along the Silk Road, also played a significant role in its decline. The end of the Silk Road marked a shift in global trade and diplomacy. But its influence was not easily erased. Its echoes can still be heard in the patterns of commerce and cultural exchange that shape our world today. Change is the only constant, and the Silk Road was no exception. Though the Silk Road has faded into history, its legacy lives on. This ancient route, stretching from the heart of China to the Mediterranean, has left an indelible mark on our world. It was more than a pathway for trade. It was a conduit for cultural exchange, a catalyst for innovation, and a testament to human endurance and curiosity. The Silk Road introduced the West to the marvels of the East, and vice versa. It brought about the spread of world religions such as Buddhism and Islam, advancing spiritual enlightenment across continents. The exchange of ideas and philosophies along this route helped shape societies, influencing everything from art and literature to science and technology. In terms of trade, the Silk Road set the stage for globalization. It demonstrated the vast potential of international commerce, fostering economic interdependence among diverse regions. The Silk Road's spirit is alive in today's global market, where goods and ideas traverse borders with ease. In recent years, there's been a resurgence of interest in the Silk Road, most notably through initiatives like China's Belt and Road Initiative. These modern projects aim to recreate the Silk Road's spirit of connectivity and collaboration, reminding us of the importance of global cooperation. The Silk Road's story is a testament to humanity's innate desire to explore, connect, and grow. It's a story that has shaped our past and continues to influence our present. The Silk Road may be gone, but it is far from forgotten. Our journey along the Silk Road has come to an end, but the stories it holds are timeless. We've traced the origins of this ancient network, from its birth in China, driven by desire for trade and cultural exchange, to its vast expanse reaching all the way to the Mediterranean. We've explored the myriad goods and ideas exchanged along its paths, from silk and spices to philosophies and religions, and we've met key figures and empires that influenced its evolution. We've navigated the challenges from harsh terrains to political instability that led to its decline, and we've witnessed its enduring legacy in our world today. The Silk Road stands as a symbol of interconnectedness, a testament to our shared history of trade and cultural fusion. The Silk Road is more than just a chapter in history, it's a testament to the power of human connection and trade. Thank you for joining this journey along the Silk Road. We've traversed time and space, uncovering a rich tapestry of trade, culture, and history. If you've enjoyed this expedition, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. For those of you yearning for more, there are numerous resources available to delve deeper into the Silk Road's fascinating chronicles. As we part ways, ponder this. How has the Silk Road shaped the world you live in today?